Shabbat Shalom, everybody. This is Rabbi Aharon Dobinsky coming to you today from the holy city of Yerushalayim. Again, a perfectly beautiful day in the holy city of Yerushalayim, home to Hashem, creator of the universe. Have you ever watched somebody build a building? You notice they don't just, you go out there one day and there's nothing but a hole in the ground. The next day there's a building. Is that magical? No. Doesn't happen that way. Why? Because first you build the foundation, then you put up the walls, then you put up the other walls, then you put up the roof, then you do the inside, etc., 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 etc. In short, it's a process. It's a process. That's how it is made. If you were to watch somebody make an automobile, for example, at one of the automobile manufacturing plants, you'd find the same thing. It's a process. They don't just all of a sudden put some metal on the assembly line and there's a car in about 5 minutes. No, they have to put the frame, they have to put things around it, they have to put the engine in it, they have to put the wheels on it, they have to do everything that involves making a car. Is it worth the time and effort? You bet it is. Same thing with the building. It's worth the time and effort. But it's a process. And we recognize this. And we're aware of this. And we have no problem in the world accepting this. Yet for some reason, there are other processes that are not quite as apparent that we do have a little bit of trouble with. Let's take, for example, davening. Today I was davening, and someone tried to interrupt me in the middle of my davening, and I didn't stop. And I got to the end, and they said, "You heard me, right?" I said, "Yes, I heard you." They said, "Well, why didn't you stop?" I said, "Because davening is a process." If you look at it, for those of you who have not been to Cheder, who didn't learn this, just a quick lesson in davening. As you start with the prayers, you start with the basics. Thank you for this, thank you for this, thank you for this. Blessed are you who does this, blessed are you who does that, blessed are you who does this. This is the beginning. And with each succeeding Kaddish, you go to a higher madrega, to a higher level. Each successive Kaddish, you move up to a higher level until you finally get to the last Kaddish, which takes you to the highest level of all. It's like coming in to visit the king. First you knock on the door, and you hear, wait for the come in. Then you come in, and you stand at the door, and you wait for him to summon you forward. And you get down, you walk a little bit forward. Then when you get there, he looks at you, you look at him, and then you bow out of respect to the king. These are things that are normal in everyday life. We expect these things. Why do we expect this kind of thing with the king of the universe? Because this is what you have to expect. It's a process. Everything is a process. I have people come to me all the time. They have problems in Parnasa. They have problems in Shalom Bayit. They have problems in their health. And they don't understand why these are not curable in a conversation that might take anywhere from 20 minutes to a half an hour. Why? Because it's a process. It's a process. What you want to do is you want to keep the process so it's moving in the right direction. Now, many times, processes don't work that way. For example, when you go into a place of being, saying a Baal Teshuvah, you're returning to Hashem. Sometimes the scenario is a little bit different. It's what I used to call the Enlightenment tango. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Because you haven't gotten to the place where you keep going forward and forward and forward and forward. Why not? Because it's a process like everything else. You have to understand it takes time. It takes effort. It takes a considerable effort. And it takes a consistent effort. As you move forward, you realize that you're overcoming certain parts of what you need to overcome. This is good. It reinforces you. It reinforces your chizuk, your strength, so that you go forward and you do things to keep moving forward. As you get more and more forward, it's sort of like, have you ever been on a diet? And they tell you, you can't have this, you can't have that, whatever you do, don't eat this. Eat this. I know you don't like it, but you should do that. All right, so you have a whole new bunch of rules for how you consume your protein, how you consume all of your nutrition. And it's not easy. Sometimes it's darn hard, giving up some of the things that you really love so much and replacing them with things that you're not quite so fond of. What you do, though, is you say, you just suck it up a little bit, and you say, okay, I'm going to do this. Why? Because my health depends on it. So I'm going to try something. I may not do everything all at once, but I'll do something now. And tomorrow I'll add something to it. And a week from now I'll add something to that. And that's how you get to the point where you change your diet. You change your nutrition. You change the way you eat. You change the way you live your life for a way more healthier way of living. It's a process. So the same thing is true when we daven to Hashem. It's a process. When we daven to Him every day, 3 times a day, it starts off slow and picks up in steam and goes from madrega to madrega to madrega, one level to the next level to the next level, until you're finally at the highest level that you can get to as a human being. And now you're talking to Hashem from the highest level at the end. But you got there through the process, okay? Now, a lot of people also who come back, who are about Teshuvah, they come back to Hashem, they return. Teshuvah is mistakenly translated sometimes as penitence. And although penitence may be involved in the process, what it really means is they return. What are you returning to? Well, I want you to think about this. All of the souls that inhabit this earth, before they came here, were at a certain place by Shemayim, in a certain place in Shemayim. They are under the Kisei HaKavod, the throne of honor, where Hashem is. They're all parts of Him. So what you have inside of you that you call a soul, that's a little spark of Hashem. If you are a science fiction lover, you watch science fiction shows, you know the sort of concept of a mothership, and all the ships are out, and they come back to the mothership, and they go out, and they come back to the mothership, and they go out. Well, we're much like that. Our souls return. At night when we sleep, they return to be rejuvenated and to come back to us in the shape that we'd like to have them in. So they work, and it's effective for us. And we can live a joyous, loving, and fulfilling life, which is what we want. Not only do we want that, where do you think we get it? We're made b'tselem Elokim. We are made in the image of the Creator. So if we want that for us, so does He want that for us. He wants us to have a joyous, loving, and fulfilling life as well. He wants to help us to do that. That's why He gives us the rules He gives us. That's why He gives us Shabbos, to give us a chance to relax, to enjoy, to take participation in our family things, in the food that we eat, in the things that we drink, and all those who are near and dear to us, and to give us a chance to do some reading that we may not have been able to do during the week because of things that are just very time-consuming, our job and everything else. But again, we come back closer a little bit more all the time. Why a little bit more? Because it's a process. It's a process. You didn't go away from Hashem necessarily in one moment. There are those who did. They had a traumatic moment. They said, the heck with it. I don't want to be here anymore. There are those who do. For the most part, most people don't. It's a step-by-step process going the wrong direction. It, too, is a process. Going the wrong direction and not wanting to be a part of Hashem in your life, not wanting to do the things that are there. It's first I give up a little of this, I give up a little of that, it's not a big deal. What if I give up this? It's not a big deal. And you know something? It's a slippery slope, because once you start, you don't know sometimes where to stop, and sometimes you just can't stop. It's a very slippery slope. That's why when people say to me, Rabbi, would it be okay if I did this? Because I'm sure Hashem would be okay with it. Well, anybody who starts a question that way, I can almost guarantee you He would not be okay with it. It's not for your good. It's against your process. So what you want to do is keep moving forward. Keep moving closer to the creator of the universe. Live a life of love, of joy, of fulfillment. Have a great Shabbos. Have a very great Shabbos, a Shabbos of love, and joy, and fulfillment with your family, your friends, all those closest to you. Enjoy the meals, enjoy the drink, enjoy the learning, enjoy the davening, enjoy every second of it, as if you were eating the best steak, assuming you like steak, the best steak that you ever got. You wouldn't wolf it down in one bite. You take small bites because you want it to last. And again, this is what you want here, because it's a process. Be well, my friends. Have a great Shabbos. God bless you, and all the best. Bye-bye.